stories of unlawful detention. Remember, it's not just someone's wahala. It's a direct violation of one of the most important rights for you, the freedom to live your life without fear of being locked away unjustly. Because freedom is sweet, but only if it's protected.
Remember, your rights are your power. Know them, use them, protect them.
The facts are glaring.
It's point blank.
It's better to have little, that there's blessings of God, that you have much more, that there's no blessings of God.
But people need to see, know, and hear.
When you return that money, you hear the message.
Whatever is not yours, even if you kill yourself, it will not come. That's my opinion.
So do share the facts on Hard Fact. Hard Fact. Hard Fact. 3 to 6 p.m. Live on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
The time is 3:12 p.m. and it is a Monday afternoon, the 29th day of September 2025, and we've thought to bring the facts to you as usual, only you're having them hard, right? You get to chew on them a little longer, see how you can digest them, and we're doing that together, okay? So buckle up and get ready for this Monday's edition, live with radio's finest himself.
Oh, I thought I'm the only person that says that. I never knew that you guys...
No, you are radio's finest.
Yes,
so
I
that
am.
was me, like, just trying to...
Yeah, I didn't know that it's something that's registered in your to you.
We feet that it will not register. We see it enough, we hear it enough for it to register.
All right. Yes.
How are you doing, radio's finest?
How am I doing? Do you want the truth or you just want an answer?
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for the truth. I'm not fine.
Is it Monaria? Is it, which one is it? Is it a combination of factors?
What can I say?
Be strong, my son.
I take it.
We're almost there.
I take it. I take the stress.
Yeah.
You know, but it's one of those, Mondays where you're not exactly ready for the week. Yeah, especially when you had a long weekend.
Don't you always have a long weekend? I mean, you work Saturdays and Sundays, right?
Well, there are some weekends, frankly speaking, that I feel a lot more rested on a Monday morning.
Okay.
I get into the Monday energized. Oh yeah, I think I know the trigger. There's a project I'm trying to work on, that stalled sort of this morning or last night. The conversation went south, and that just spiraled into this morning. But it goes to show that at the end of the day, broadcasters, driver, doctor, engineer, we're all humans, and we suffer.
Did it touch all of us?
It touched all of us, my sister. It touches everybody. It go round.
Thank God.
But this is not breakfast.
You can show up here anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And not look like what you're going through.
Yeah, that's the part, right, where discipline comes in. I mean, I was telling you off air that there are going to be those days where it is not love of what you do, per se, that gets you going. Why are you chuckling?
I just remembered something on social media. I know how, podcasts and all of that. And this lady was trying to talk about, some quotes that she heard, and she was so excited by it. And she heard this thing and it changed her life. You don't love your job. You job your love.
You job your love.
My brother, it did not make sense, but I gave it to the host of the podcast. He was very gracious. He was like, I get it. But yeah, I don't know. Do you get it?
I don't know.
So I'm guessing this is one of those days. You don't love your job, you job your love.
No. So it has nothing to do with. But in that story that I just shared, I don't know what that lady was talking about, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Except she jobs her lover, because
my brother, don't
job will mean,
try and break it down.
So, but this has nothing to do. You can love a job and not want to show up. You can love something. You can love your profession. You can love your business and not exactly, it has nothing to do with the love of the job or the business. It's just sometimes because there are other aspects of your life. For example, your health. If your health is down, even though you love your job, you won't be able to show up.
You just have to swallow it and just drop your love.
Yeah, is that is that what you do now?
I'm just being silly. Don't mind me.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Don't mind
it's fine. You're forgiving because you clearly are in a bed. You're in better spirits.
My brother, again, just take it when I say.
Well, you went to the bank earlier today.
I was stressed. It was a stressful trip. It wasn't that I went to go and collect. In fact, right now, malaria.
Yeah.
I have malaria. See, my temperature is high.
Yeah. There's this sound that is a when you hear this sound, just know your day is about to be wasted.
Which one?
Na.
Oh my God, that one.
So when we spoke earlier, and you said you were in the bank, I'm like, oh, okay. Everybody just go what he or she is dealing with.
You know, at the end of the day, you position yourself regardless, and you keep pushing through. You keep waking up. You keep
showing up.
Yes.
You keep showing up. So
we're here today.
We have shown up.
We have shown up.
Regardless.
We have shown up.
I'm done ranting.
It was a good run. Feel lighter? You've gotten it off your chest now?
Yeah, I feel better.
See, now you've woken up. Radio's finest. You blushing. All right, then. Radio's finest indeed. And the one and only Somi. That's me. Taking you through from now till 7 p.m. Welcome indeed. Speaking of showing up, the group of people, I mean, we heard that they're in a meeting right now, but, you know, they went through this weekend with some kind of determination, and they said, you see, we will not show up, we will shut down. And they shut down. I am talking about NNPC, NUPRC, NMDPRA. All of them shut down, according to reports from offices that were visited in the early hours of today, Monday the 29th. And all of this because of a nationwide strike declared by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria that took effect on Monday. Reports are said to have been paralyzed at key oil and gas regulatory institutions. And, this is following the weekend directive by the union's National Executive Council that saw members across the country withdrawing their services, effectively shutting down critical agencies that drive Nigeria's oil and gas industry. I'm sure some of you already got wind of why this happened, but it started with a report that broke over the weekend where it was said that Dangote Refinery let go of. Reports differ, right? But there are talks of about 800 of their staff.
Yeah.
And Dangote, of course, came out to defend that, and of course, hit back hard at Pengasan, saying that whatever reasons, whatever decisions that they took concerning the staff that they let go of had nothing to do with the fact that, it's because you didn't, or it's because you joined the union. They said no, they looked at what was going on within the organization, and they decided, look, we have to take certain decisions concerning our operational capacity and our efficiency and the likes, and then, and saying even if they did, they still had about 3,000 Nigerian staff within their employ, because the 800 that was said to have been let go of, there were talks also about them having been replaced by twice that number, over twice that number of expatriates. And so Pengasan was upset. They were furious, and they said this cannot stand. And of course, Nigerians all over the country have been reacting ever since this news first broke. I think the directive to shut down operations was issued yesterday. And then they said effective 12:01 a.m. This morning is when all of this would happen. Now, we're looking at the rippling effects.
Yeah.
Should this issue not be resolved? I mean, we've had everybody from the legislators weighed in, former lawmakers have waded in. The TUC has come out to say, look, you need to reinstate the workers if we're going to have any kind of headway here. Because it's not just the thing of, just shut down and go. I mean, we're talking about even power, electricity across the country, apart from fuel and things like AGO and all of that. Like everywhere is said to be, is going to be affected. We're not sure quite yet what is looking like across the country, but we're going to be reading some reports about Nigerians who have been reacting so far. And of course, we are back to this question. We've been having this conversation for the past 2 weeks about what is considered overriding national interest when looking at conversations or negotiations going on between these unions and the Dangote refinery, because it's gone from New Peng to Dapman and now Pengerson. So who is considering the overriding interest of Nigerians in these matters? Because if Dangote says the reason why we let go of the people that we let go of is because, we've looked at, what we do in-house and our operations, and we've decided we need to streamline and we need to do better. That's why we let them go. Meanwhile, Pengerson is saying, no, you let them go because they joined the union. At this point, it's like everybody take a breath, take a breather, and consider what is going to happen at the national level if these rifts continue, because they're not just going on, they're deepening. Like every time the accusations from one side to the other are just bad and they're worsening over time. And it's like, what is going on? We've had people like the Nigerian Independent, what's it called? NISO, I think that's what they're called. Let me look for that report. Coming to talk about what will happen if this rift continues. They're talking about even generating stations being affected because of gas supply. I think that was Dangote that was talking about even flight operations and all of that being affected. And all. So it's worsening over time. And it just looks like, what is the major issue here? What is the major issue here? I'm sure, Gabriel, you've been following the story.
I have. I've been following the story keenly. When it was Dangote versus Nupeng, the federal government came in and they called a meeting. As a matter of fact, I think the meeting was held in the DSS headquarters, if I'm not mistaken. That's to show the seriousness with which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took the situation, or the federal government or the presidency, whichever one you want to call it, took the seriousness of the matter. Now, and they were able to arrive at a compromise, all right? As a matter of fact, Dangote was already creating its own organization. I think it is, I can't remember the name now, Truck Drivers.
Even that was
it was disbanded.
Against, yes.
I'll look for the name, and I remember this afternoon. I'll look for the name and bring it up again. Now, talking about Pengerson, first and foremost, right? We're looking at a case of unionism versus capital venture. And both have the law sort of backing them. They are part of the Constitution or different acts, like the Labor Act 2004, that empower certain things that both are fighting for. And I would say that it's upon the federal government to once again wade into the matter. Now, first and foremost, no union can force people to join its organization. That's the first thing. However, I'll start with labor or the union. And I had some things penned down.
More news and information.
No, let's go for the commercial first.
Okay, all right, we'll be back.
Connection established.
Lisa Amusement Park. Key to Abuja. You can win prizes so cool.
So grab your mom, dad, bestie, cousin, even your teddy bear and run, skip, or cartwheel to Mona Lisa Amusement Park Friday, 3rd October 2025 from 12 p.m. till the fun meter explodes.
Supported by Newsy Home, Cherry's Food,
Life Plus Medical Diagnostics and Laboratories, Abuja.
Farfard Ventures, Kellogg's, 3J's Hotel, Infinix Nigeria, Colgate, Nice Food Kitchen and Catering Services, Wusei Zone 1, GSM Village.
Can affect so many parts, so many sectors of the economy, the country, everything. I mean, NISO is considering measures already to mitigate total grid collapse. The NISO being the Nigerian Independent System Operator, who is talking about the fact that, look, they rely heavily on gas-fired generation. And so any sustained disruption in gas supply, as is going to come about by virtue of the fact that Pengasyn has ordered all gas supplies to be sort of cut off and all their members to down their tools. They're saying, look, this could constrain generation capacity, can affect system operations, and it can undermine the stability and reliability of electricity supply across the country.
Yeah.
We'll come to one of the biggest questions, I think. I saw a security expert a power expert talking about just how far Pengasyn has taken this, and if they can even go this far by law. But you're talking about some things that you penned down as far as this dispute.
So I was talking about, first of all, I'll start with the section 40 of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, provides that every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any trade union or any other association. That's Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Now, the Trade Unions Act further reinforces the right of every employee to freely join a trade union. And importantly, Labour Act 2004, which I mentioned earlier, Section 9, subsection 6A, states that no contract shall make it a condition of employment that a worker shall or shall not join a trade union. So it simply means that an employer cannot legally terminate an employee because of their willingness to join a union. Doing so amounts to an unfair labor practice and a direct violation of both the Constitution and the Labor Act. So, looking at this from the angle of the law, you can understand where Pengasan is coming from. So far, the reason why senior to mid-level staffers in the oil sector, from the upstream to the downstream, midstream, the reason why we all opine that they are well paid is because of unions like Pengasan that demand that the welfare and the treatment of its members are catered for. You cannot, in fact, one of the reasons why unions like Pengasan are very crucial is because it is just now we have an indigenous refinery of this magnitude coming up. It's just now. Over time, we've had other actors in the ecosystem, not just refineries, other actors in the upstream sector, for example, who are foreign multinationals.
Yeah.
And it is unions like Pengasan that stood for the people, amongst others, let me add that, amongst others, that stood for the people and fought for the people, ensure that Nigerians are catered for, their rights are preserved. So it is very crucial to know that. However, if a company, according to the laws, if a company says we want to reorganize, we want to re-strategize, we want to downsize, every company is permitted to do that. If they determine that this is in tandem with our
the organizational policy
or whatever it is, we need to restructure at this point in time. They are allowed to do that. And that is the premise upon which the staff were laid off.
According to Dangote.
But Pengasan now are alleging that it's not because of reorganization. It is because of this unionism, this union matter. And that's where the problem has started from. So if you look at where the two of them are standing right now, you cannot exactly hold anybody to a fault. Because you look at someone like Dangote and the massive investment in that place. Need I mention, like I said before, this is an indigenous firm in Nigeria.
Yep.
And it has already begun to produce or provide positive dividends. We've not seen scarcity in a while. And there's much more that we can begin to expect from the emergence of this refinery. So when this organization, which is the first, which I believe that in the next coming years, we'll perhaps begin to see other players come in, other investors come in, other establishments to create that sort of competition like we saw in the telecoms in the early 2000s, and which will be beneficial for Nigerians, you and I, who go to the petrol station to buy petrol on an average day. So we are looking at history here, and we need to be very careful, because I cannot stand and also say that workers can't join a union, because that would be laying a bad precedent. We are going to be having, if Dangote has good intentions, 10 years down the line, when the precedent is already laid, and other organizations that had ulterior motives or bad motives, bad intentions comes up, and they say, oh, Shebi Dangote did not fight, he won you guys. So that's why we need to be very careful. I know there are calls from different quarters, people are looking at it from different angles. You see, they both have legitimate concerns. You cannot ask workers not to join union. At the same time, if you are looking at the last 30 years, Somi, I know you want to say something. I'll give my last point here. In the last 30 years, we've seen the malaise of the oil sector. We've seen NMPC and many of these unions have been in existence for the last 30 years thereabouts. How much has been done? How much have we benefited, Nigerians? What we have gotten is increase in petrol price. We have got consistent, insistent queues as a country that extracts crude oil from its underneath. We've had consistent queues. We've had increase in petrol price. We've had all manner of issues, thefts, corruption. Look at the PFI, for example. Look at the crude oil sales to international markets. I mean, so many things. And these organizations, these unions, I meant to say, have been around. So when a private investor who doesn't want disruption for his business, who has got the investment of his investors to look after, is sitting and is observing all these things, I would want to fight it. And then they say something in Yoruba language. They say, "Aiti kofanle ifatin." We are just started. There's already a strike. At the very beginning, the very first sign of problem, there's already a strike, confirming the fears of the investors. And I'm looking from, unless I'm in Sweden, I'm in Switzerland, I'm in France, I'm in China, and I'm looking at Nigeria right now. I want to invest in the down or midstream sector, and I'm looking. So, are you telling me now if I pour in $1 billion in Nigeria to set up a refinery or something in the ecosystem, I'm going to have to deal with this manner of issues? So, at the end of the day, here's my call. Can they both see? If Dangote is saying, I'm doing this for the sake of Nigerians, please come to the negotiation table. Pengasan, you all are Nigerians as well. I believe we're not talking about Indians here. We're not talking about Chinese or Lebanese. We're talking about Nigerians for Nigeria. Can we all come to the negotiation table and look at this issue? When we are looking at the first of a kind, it's usually very important for the sake of posterity that we carefully manage the narrative. Again, both sides have legitimate concerns.
So here's the concern that I have.
All right.
I'm putting myself into this mix now. It's looking like a case of Pengason's word against Dangote's word. So I understand that there is a meeting possibly happening right now. It's going to happen at some point today. It shouldn't be that difficult now. Confirm really and truly if Dangote let those people go based on operational efficiency or inefficiency, as opposed to the claim of it's because they were in a union.
So are we asking for an audit of the organization?
At this point,
an audit of the organization.
At this point, whatever needs to be done, the most important thing is verify each person's claim, because otherwise it then looks like we're just, we can't be anywhere but in the center. But really and truly, you have analyzed this perfectly, and you've said, look, they both have a reasonable cause to take the actions that they're taking. But if really and truly it was operational efficiency, then should Pengason have this right to act the way they're acting? And if it really and truly was due to the fact that it is because they were members of the union, they joined the union, then Dangote should also be taken to task, because I remember when the rift first broke out, it was over, union this, union that, the meeting that you rightly mentioned. I think there was an agreement. They sat down and they said, look, you can't say these people should not join the unions, right? And so there was an agreement, and then we moved on before we started hearing other things from the rest of them, yeah? So at this point, just conduct. I think this goes beyond just sitting down at the table. Have a proper independent investigation into what the reason was for him letting them go. So it should not just be his word against theirs or their word against his.
So
and then take appropriate action.
That's dependent
depending on who was at fault.
That's dependent on. Yeah, you're right in your submission that there should be an investigation into.
Because you know why I'm saying this?
Yes, please.
It seems like it's 1 week, one problem. 1 week, one problem. And so if you need to set the record straight affirmatively by taking action against whoever it is that has faulted against any agreement, or if it is Pengason, flexing muscle and all that. Take proper action against it so that these issues maybe can start to pedal down a little bit.
Let's say beyond that, let's say that Dangote now, let's say all of this is not happening. Dangote wants to employ a new set of staff, which they already have begun. From what I have found out over the course of my study, they have begun to employ a new set of staff. Would they allow the new set of staff to join any trade union?
So I think that again was the agreement that was reached at that first meeting. If they want to. You read what the Constitution says now.
Yeah.
If they want to, look, they can have multiple unions, as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yeah.
If they want to join 2, 3, I'm not entirely sure about if labor laws have restrictions or union laws have restrictions, but if they want to, they're well within their rights to. Now, where there will be a problem, for example, is if they conduct this investigation and then they find out that indeed it was operational efficiency issues.
Yeah.
But because they are members of the union now decided to flex on that and then use, create an issue and make it strictly a union issue because you're a member of an issue. I think that's the conversation we have now. What action should be taken if this investigation is done and they find out that either Dangote was at fault or Pengasin is at fault? If not, we're going to continue to keep having these issues. It's like the refinery breathes, take a breath in, and before they go out, something has happened. So I see it as a power tussle of sorts. It's sort of a way of trying to maintain some form of relevance. And so issues that ordinarily should not be issues may be issues. But then who am I to say such a thing, especially if the investigation has not been carried out?
Well, yeah, exactly. At this point, it would have to be the presidency or maybe perhaps the president himself that would have to let this pass away really quickly. How swiftly can the investigation you're calling for happen? I do not know. Hopefully it happens real soon. And there is a solution arrived at very, very earnestly. Because with the way things are going, we're talking about the oil sector here. It's a sector.
Gas.
It's a sector where oil and gas sector.
In fact, the gas now is the problem. The power sector expert was saying the gas belongs to the Nigerian government and that the union guys are just employees working to end their wage terms. So only the government should be able to stop gas supply to Dangote refinery, saying they're taking their role a little too far. This is what one of the reactions from a Nigerian was. It says also the gas supply to Dangote is not free, whether sold by NNPCL or other companies. Dangote pays for it. 3, it is from the payment made by Dangote refinery that Nigeria and other companies earn some of their revenues, which they use as allocation for salaries across states and local governments, and also to pay the salaries, including the salaries of some of these union members who Dangote has tagged saboteurs at this point.
I mean, the Dangote refinery has been releasing lots and lots of press statements. At a point, I began to lose count and got lost in some of these press statements. Again, I think because it is happening, is the first of its kind, it's one that we need to be very careful so that we don't set the wrong precedent. That's my major concern. One, that we don't set the wrong precedent. 2, to be very honest, Somi, we all know that in all of these things, the benefit of Nigerians is at the back burner. It's not at the front. We all know.
You're talking about this on the side of both Dangote and Pengasin?
Exactly. Because if you're talking to a capitalist's first point of mind is his profits. Rightly so. If you are that, you're looking at your profit, you're looking at securing your capital, looking at securing your investment. At the same time too, like I said before, we're looking at unions, we're looking at institutions, if I can call them that have been around for the past 10, 20, 30 years. We've seen our refineries become obsolete, and you guys have been around. So when you cannot blame a private organization who is weary. The guy is paranoid because of, at the mention of union. You cannot blame him because when these guys, when they sneeze, the entire nation catches cold. It's just because they manage the information. We don't know how many of the fuel scarcity we've suffered in this country. That is as a direct result of actions of some of these unions. So many of them. Some don't even make it to the news. We just say that there's fuel scarcity. It's either the marketers, is that this union or that union. So if you're a private business owner, you're going to be worried. You're going to be paranoid.
All right, let's take a look at the next story and then we'll open up the phone lines, then take the third one. I guess this one now, Tedola is accusing this particular person of not just paranoia, but also ignorance. A former aide to Vice President Amadi Sambo is who Femi Otedola is hitting back at, because apparently Umar Sani is said to have come up with allegations linking him to the fuel subsidy scam probed under the Goodluck Jonathan administration. He issued a statement over the weekend characterizing Sani's claims as malicious lies and disclosed that he has already instructed his lawyers to file a 1 billion naira libel suit against the ex-presidential aide. Recalling his role in exposing the rot in Nigeria's fuel subsidy regime, Otedola said he was amongst the first to alert President Goodluck Jonathan and Senator Bukola Saraki of the fraud at the time, wondering how he could be accused of benefiting from the same scam he blew the whistle on. And, of course, in his vehement attempts, rejecting Sani's attempts to link him with the subsidy scandal, he declared that Xenon Petroleum, his company, never traded in petrol at the time and therefore could not have accessed the subsidy fund, stressing that allegations to the contrary amount to ignorance and mischief. And he says, look, you cannot just toy with my hard-earned reputation. You cannot just come out and issue unfounded statements. And so he followed it very swiftly with a 1 billion naira libel suit. He said, and I quote, to Mr. Sani and others who peddle these half-baked stories, go and read my book, Making It Big. Study the facts and stop disgracing yourselves with ignorance. I have nothing to hide and I've always acted in the interest of truth and accountability. Those who benefited from subsidy fraud know themselves. I will not sit back and allow falsehood to be written into history, he maintained. And then rounded up by appealing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release the full report by the Aigboji Aik Imokwede panel carried out under Goodluck Jonathan administration on the controversial fuel subsidy regime. And to this, I would say, if only the president could actually release or would actually release that report, because it's been a long time coming for that information to come out, and it hasn't made any sense to me whatsoever that the report hasn't been made public. Anyway, Otedola is saying, look, let it out, let the real subsidy thieves be unmasked, so that people like Ubasani, that his name? Yes. People like Umar Sani, rather, would stop making these unfounded claims. Well, he's got a 1 billion naira libel suit sitting pretty, waiting for him in the wings. Shall you get your thoughts on this, or shall we open up the phone?
Mr. Femi Otedola has done the right thing. If it says that Umar Sani's claims are derogatory or they're slander to his name, take the man to court. Even though I find some of these suits laughable, not laughable, the price, the sums attached to them, $1 billion naira, defamation lawsuits. Well,
it's to set a deterrent, he says.
Oh, well.
If I use this person and show walking, nobody will try with me again, perhaps.
Well. I don't know if, that will fly. Perhaps maybe because his name is a household name. But like you said, the reports there, when some people make certain statements, it's just like the way the former governor of Kaduna State is making some political statements. When he does, on one hand, you're looking like, okay, but sir, you were part of the government before. When you were part of the government, you didn't see all these things. But now that, in quote, you're an opposition, you're now coming out to say certain things. But because of the person talking, you are forced to take a close second look at what he's saying. Like, okay, this person is speaking from an insider point of view. This person knows what he's talking about. Even though you are now looking at, Oga, why is it now that you are saying all these things that you are now an opposition to the government? Were you not there when all these things were happening? That's talking about, I'm citing an example, talking about former governor of Kaduna State. If Mr. Otedola is asking, release the reports, something is there. And that is where I am triggered. What is in the reports?
You're triggered, huh?
They should release it. I think Nigerians would like to see it. I mean, for someone like myself who is fascinated by, insights into the past, talking about critical ventures, critical enterprises in the country. So I look at some of these things. You know, one of the reasons why I'm fascinated by this country and corrupt practices is I look at the wealth domiciled in Nigeria just by certain factors, our strength, our number, the mineral resources. You look at it and you look at some of the corruption that has happened over the years, and you wonder, how are we still standing as a nation? It fascinates me, Somi. I'm not going to lie. How are we still standing? How are we coping? Even though, let's not get it twisted. For the next future, our future sort of has been sold, you know, in terms of borrowings and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's on a lighter note. But I look at some of these things and I'm like, how are we still coping? How are we still standing? Some other countries cannot dare try. The amount of corruption, embezzlement has happened and still be standing like this. Some countries would have sunk. So if it fascinates me. So I join him to ask that the president should release the report. I think Nigerians, well-meaning Nigerians like myself and others, would like to have a look. That is, even if they'll make it public, make it for public consumption. And whatever it is that the recommendations are there, that they will use it, because we've also seen reports and, white paper policies that have been released, nothing has been done with them. But about the suit, I mean, he has taken the right step. If you're not happy with what someone has said to you, please go to the court and seek redress.
All right, then. Let's see. We can take messages. Let's take messages, and then when we come back, we'll open up the phone lines properly after sharing the final story. We have less than a minute, so yeah, we'll come back to the calls. This one here, let's see, it says, good afternoon, Nigeria Info. Brian from Airport Road. He said Dangote came out officially to say that they let go of the staff due to operational efficiency. Dangote is a private businessman like every other business organization. Dangote is not government, so why would Pengasyn and Nupeng be fighting a private business organization? All right. You who is selling property for sale, I rebuke you. That's not what we do here. Please redirect your market properly. All right, this one here says unionism in Nigeria is a joke. Ask people in the construction industry, even construction companies in Abuja that have unions. There's nothing apart from what the union gets from them. Check the China ECOWAS project along Airport Road. It's an aid. Says investigate workers' welfare. All the construction companies working are going through hell, and you say union are for the people. Union are for themselves, collecting monies from the Chinese and other foreigners. The NUC CFWW, don't know what that is, he says, it's the most corrupted body of the NLC union because they're in charge of construction workers. Dangote knows what he's doing. The union is the most corrupt in Nigeria. They want to just be in charge and control it by blackmailing the industry with workers under them. All right, Brian from Airport Road. See if we can take this one very quickly. Pengasyn and other groups are the cause of our refineries not working. Nigeria should not be carried away during Maraba. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the phone lines will open right up, and then we'll also give you the final of the big three stories. Stay with us.
More talk, news, and sports after this.